Good morning, everybody. Today I am joined by Corinna, who is a long-standing C2C client. She's been in, we were working it out, we think around 12 months, just over, and she is a ghostwriter who helps business owners write influential legacy building books. And today we're going to talk about her experience within content to clients so far, and hopefully continue what's going to come next. And for anyone that doesn't know me already, I'm Vicky Hanley. I'm head of client success inside the program. So Corinna, welcome, and thank you for joining me today. We've been working together for just over a year now, which I can't quite believe because I am completely time blind. And since you came into the program, you've seen some amazing results. I've seen some real change in you since you first started with us. But before we kind of talk about what the experience has been like, I'd really like to know what life was like before content to clients, before you joined us. What was your business like, and what was your kind of everyday looking like at that point in time?
So before I found you guys, I had just started ghostwriting. I had done that kind of bouncing around thing of trying a few and not really finding my thing. I'd bounced from like social media to copywriting to this and that, and finally sort of found ghostwriting. But I was just winging it. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was like, all I knew was that like I needed to get paid, and I needed to find people to pay me, and I needed to be good at my job. And that was the only thing that was in my head. I had no idea about like what people were looking for when they hired someone. I had no idea I had like an idea about marketing, and I had an idea about social media because I'd worked in it, but I'd never pivoted and I'd always done that for other people. Like I'd never been the person I was marketing. So that was really difficult. And I didn't have, I think I remember I was really struggling with like time management, processes. Like I'd been in a community before that had given me the basics of how to market yourself, how to package things, but it was still early in my journey, and there was still a lot mindset. There was a lot that I still wasn't taking in because I was still freaking out about, oh my God, I'm a freelancer, I need to find people. So when I came to C2C, I was very much like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't like, how do people do this without like falling off a cliff? Like how I had bad processes. I didn't know how to manage my time. I didn't know how to manage my day. I thought I did. I didn't. So yeah, it was just all a bit overwhelming, a bit lost, and a bit confused because I thought I had the skills. And you might get this with some people who join you, like, I thought I had the skills because I'd done marketing and I'd done sales before, and I had clients. So I thought I knew what I was doing because I'd been doing it for about a year. But it was very much flying by the seat of your pants, very much like running after clients and feeling very desperate rather than being in control and being like a business owner. I was very much in that freelancer, whatever is below like whatever comes before freelancer but after full time. You're in that weird like
That limbo. We see
Yeah.
that a lot, actually, and I really liked, well, I don't like what you said, but something that really resonated then was that desperate energy.
Yeah.
That was certainly my experience when I joined the program way back when, probably about 3 years ago now. Mental. But yeah, I was in a place of desperation all the time. I would take all the work, any work.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's very much
I was like, oh, I'm so thankful for you just hiring me. Like, even if they weren't right, or even if they were really like not a good fit, I was like, I'll just do anything, just pay me,
and I'll do it your way, and
I'll do it however you want. And it was so it was just, and then you get that horrible feeling of like, oh, I thought this was supposed to feel good. Like I thought being a business owner was supposed to feel good. But when you work with people who, you know, there isn't that, you haven't found the people that you want to serve, you get very demotivated. You're like, oh, it's not how everyone says it is. So am I wrong or are they wrong? Like you don't know because you've never done it before.
You're constantly
You're just so lost. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Not that you felt lost, but that you found it come along at the right
Amazing.
time. I
Well,
love
thank you.
your pain and suffering. That's not what I'm going for. But what
Okay.
was there a specific event or moment or anything that made you take the leap and join? Was there like a catalyst for the change, or was it something that you were thinking about for a while before joining?
Yeah, a couple of things. So my first ghostwriting client, I had gotten to a point where I just joined LinkedIn and I was, putting all my social media know-how into using LinkedIn, and I'd gotten my first client, and I'd gone through the sale fairly okay, and I was very honest with him and stuff, and thankfully he was very lovely to work with, amazing. But I completely burnt out doing that process because I had no kind of, I had not organized my service in a way that made me feel like I was in control of it. Even though I was the ghostwriter and he was the client, I felt like he was in control, even though I'm supposed to be the expert. And so I completely burnt out. I worked all through Christmas. I didn't have a Christmas. Like, my partner had to shout at me and say, like, today's Christmas Day. You are not working on Christmas Day. And I was like, oh, I have to work. I have to work. It was ridiculous. I got so ill. And on top of that, because I was so focused on the work and the delivery, I dropped the ball on like marketing and other things. And so as soon as that client finished, it was a scramble and a stress to find the next person in it. And I was like, I was like, this is not what I wanted when I went freelance. This is not what I wanted. We'd also just moved to Sheffield as well. I had finally had my own space, like home office. I finally had like what I needed to build a business. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm burnt out. I'm dropping the ball. I'm stressed. But I was also quite disillusioned about the fact that I'd come from and I think I mentioned this when I spoke to Chris on our sales call, that a previous community that I'd been in had, while that had given me a lot of the foundations to get me started, it also missed a few things as well. And I was really like, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to solve this for me. I was really like, so it was just all of those things coming together. But then the more I was on LinkedIn, the more I started seeing stuff from C2C and other things. And it was just
everywhere.
I was just seeing you guys everywhere, like YouTube videos or card. I was just like,
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's he's around a lot. Like,
He is. He gets about. Oh my god,
he's always in my face. Like,
he's everywhere.
He's everywhere. Like, oh, I suppose I better watch one of these videos and better see what they're saying. And yeah. And then it just went from there, basically.
Oh, I'm really glad that you made the leap, and you mentioned the previous community that kind of gave you some of what you needed, but not all of what you needed. And that's one of the things that we sort of pride ourselves on in C2C now, is that it's very different than when I joined, but now it's like an end-to-end system. Like there's stuff for every aspect of the business, so there are no kind of rocks left unturned, if you like. So that's
definitely
something that we've definitely worked on over the past 3-4 years, however long it is.
That's not even that long. That's not that long if you think about it as well.
No, it's not. When I joined, there were 6 of us, so it's crazy different.
Oh, that's mad.
In a great way. So you mentioned kind of the other sort of communities that you've been in and things like that. You must have had some concerns, or maybe not concerns, maybe not quite that strong, but when you first were considering signing up, like, is this going to work for me? Was there anything in particular that you were worried about before you kind of committed to join us, that you were worried about in terms of like not getting results or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's the same for everyone. Like, I was worried about not getting results. I was worried about signing up to something else that wasn't going to give me what I needed. But also, it's so hard to know what you're needing. It's kind of like, you don't know what you need until someone tells you what you need. So if you're trying to sign up for something that's trying to solve what you need and you don't know what you need, you don't know it, you just get into a, so you just so you don't trust anyone. Like, you've been burnt before, you don't trust anyone, you don't even trust yourself to make a decision that you kind of know is going to work for you. And so I had all of that going on. I was also really wary. There are hundreds of like courses and coaches and people online, and I've signed up to quite a few to know now that you do have to find the right fit. You do.
Yeah.
They're not all. They're not an all size fits all kind of thing. It's all size fits all. One size fits all. It's not a one size fits all thing. And so yeah, I was really worried about that. I was also really worried. I really remember this in the call. One of the reasons I signed up to a previous community was because of the person who founded it. They had a really strong personal story that really inspired me and motivated me. And I was like, well, if he can do it from that situation, then I can do it. And I joined because of that really close association that he had with it. And the community really built around him. However, as the community got bigger and more people started joining and obviously started making more money, he started moving back from the business, which is fine. Like, he wanted to spend time with his family, and the whole point, I assume, of him starting his business was so he didn't have to work in the business. But he was the biggest draw for that community. And so and I remember speaking to some people of that community, and it felt like the heart had been taken out of the community,
right?
Because that was why people joined in the first place. And it felt like that person-to-person connection and the reason that you've joined and that you're stayed is missing, and it becomes very corporate company. It just didn't feel right. And that was really disappointing for me. And I really sort of lost interest in trying, because I was like, well, why bother? So I was really like, I don't want to join a community. I'll be on this, on the sales call with Chris. I'm like, you're great. You do sales great, Chris. This is great. You're fab to talk to. But what happens if I join the community and you don't appear for like 95% of the time? Like, why should I believe in this mission and this message that you're trying to say if you don't show up? I'm not going to go for that. So that was my biggest concern. I was really like, I don't want to put down money behind someone who's not going to show up for me. Why should I?
Absolutely. Especially when they're so present on the front end.
Yeah. If they're so like, this is my company, this is who I am. Yep. And then you join and you're like, where? What? Are we, am I even in the same place? So that was my biggest concern, because if you're joining because you want the knowledge and the expertise from the person who's started it and running it and who is supposed to be the expert, and they don't show up for you, and they aren't there to talk to you, whether it's one-to-one or in a community or whatever, you just feel really like let down. And it's hard enough trying to start a business on your own and go freelance or whatever, without then putting your trust in a complete stranger, no matter how much marketing they put out, no matter how many videos they can do, you can never completely 100% trust the person. So they're asking for a lot for you to put money down in front of them. And then if they don't show up, it feels like such a letdown. And you're much less likely to want to engage with the community. You're much less likely to want to try the things that they say, because if they just stick a course out there and be like, okay, right, see, have a go at this, see you in 6 months. Well, what? No, that's not what I signed up for. So that was, so I remember saying that to him, and he was very much like, oh, you don't need to worry about that. I'm always there. Like, don't worry.
He's been on holiday in, like, I don't know, America or somewhere, and he's tried to come into a group call, and I'm like, no, you're staying in the way.
Yeah. Obviously have the balance. And I don't want you to be there 24/7 and you're like sick and like gaunt and like, no, don't do that. But like, so that was my biggest thing, I think, because I had the other stuff, the sales and marketing and stuff. I was joining for that. I'm sure that might be a different question, but I was joining for help with that, but that was my biggest concern. Yeah
Good. I'm glad that we've overcome that, because whenever he can get on a call, he's there. Like,
hello.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, will you just go? But okay, so that was life before. That was the decision that you made to join us. So let's talk about the process. Let's talk about the kind of I hate this word, journey that you've been on over the past sort of 12 months. What do you think, what stages have you gone through perhaps in terms of like the mental journey, I guess, because
Oh my God.
it's a lot, isn't it? Like there's a lot to do. There's a lot of work, but yeah, what's that felt like as a client? How have you kind of gone through that? Just talk me through it.
Oh my God. Right. Hang on. What is the journey
Quite a
like?
big question.
It's quite a big question, and it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, it was a bit. How do I even begin to explain? I don't want to scare people off and say it was completely up and down, because people might be like, "Well, that sounds like hell. I'm not doing that." But it was a very, because I had come from like, I was a very nerdy kid and I'm very academic. So I always felt like I had to do the course right. I had to do things right. So I really wanted to go through this process in the right way and go through the modules in the right way. And I know Chris teaches that that's impossible, because you just have to respond to the business and what you can do at any one time. And so there were times when I was completely on it, and I was going through the modules, and some of it I already knew, and I was like, great, this confirms what I already know, and I was happy with that. And then there were other bits that I was like, oh crap, this is what's been missing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then like, and then you go back to like, oh yeah, I know that. Oh, I didn't know. And then you flip flop between, you know, depending on your background, I think everyone will come to this with some kind of knowledge of something, and then Chris will come up with a module that you're like, why did I not know this? So you're kind of like this the whole time.
Yeah.
But on top of that, you're trying to balance actually literally building your business as well. And when I'm ghostwriting, you do kind of deep dive in with one person, and a lot of my time is often taken up with client delivery. So I'm trying to do bits and pieces, do client delivery at the same time as going through the course and connecting with the community. So for me, it's been very bouncy. It's probably the right word. It's been very up and down, in and out, but it's always been a brilliant constant there, a foundation. Because there are times when I feel like, oh yeah, I've totally got this. I know what I'm doing. I've gone through the course. I know how to package stuff now. I know how to do, I've learned this stuff. But then there'll come a challenge or a point or a client or something where I'm like, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing. And there's, you know, you can check the course, you can ask people. It's been a great kind of, it's been like what's the word? Like that safety net that you need for when you're kind of going off on your own. And because I don't really come from a family of entrepreneurs or freelancers. A lot of my friends are, but they had been doing it for 5 or 10 years before I even started. So they were way ahead of me. So I didn't really have anyone who was in the same place as me. So it was a great up and down, in and out journey. And you don't really realize how far you've come until you get that win, or you go, oh my God, I just did a sales call and I didn't freak out. How did that happen? Oh wait, it's because I took this course, or because I did this thing, or I asked this question like 5 weeks ago about that thing. Like it all starts to fall into place, but you don't quite realize it's working for you until you do the thing. And then you look back and you go, oh, it's because I did what they told me to do.
So there's a point, isn't there? There is a point where it starts to click.
There's a point where it starts to click, and you spend so long in that place of like, when is it going to start working for me? When am I going to stop freaking out? You're never going to stop freaking out, to be honest.
Daily basis.
Never.
That's something.
Like I had a call the other day, like, and my face was completely calm, but I was sweating. Like I was absolutely like, got off the call and I was like, this is not normal. But you kind of, I couldn't have done that like before I started.
Was that the call where you kind of freestyled an offer that you'd not?
Well, no, that was a different one, but I was completely sweating in that one as well.
Because I can't imagine you freestyling an offer.
Oh my God,
when you first joined.
No, I couldn't have done that either. And I don't think I could have freestyled a call without everything that I've seen. But also as well, like, not only, I think a lot of it comes from, and Chris might like this as well, I'm sure he will, when Chris does those calls where he kind of freestyles solving solutions in the call,
Yeah.
where he's just going, okay, well, if this is a problem, then maybe this is the solution. And just being able to see him and other people on calls,
Yeah.
literally trying to solve problems in the moment, made me realize, oh, wait, I could probably do that
Yeah.
on a sales call.
Yeah.
I can probably sit there and be like, oh, wait, maybe we can. And it's okay. And it's okay because the person on the other end is on that call with you because they're interested in what you have to say. And if you need, 10 seconds to think of a solution, then you can. But I don't think I would have been able to do that had I not seen other people do it first.
Yeah.
Or even seen Chris go, don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
You have
It's
to.
like, he comes across as like, he knows everything, but like, if those moments where he's like, no, I don't know this, then I go, oh, okay, if he doesn't, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to know it.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
weird.
I get it. There's a pressure that you put on yourself, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know every answer. And it's like, actually, rather than, I was going to say a rude word then, rather than just making it up as I go along on a call, like, not that I do that anyway, but it's like, I don't have to do that. I can say, look, I don't know the answer, but I'll find it out for you. Like those is, it's quite a mindset shift, actually.
It's a mindset, and you can't, and those are the things those are the things that you don't know, you need to know.
Yeah.
These are like the small little details you don't realize you need to know about when you start a business because they're so unique and specific to whatever it is that you're doing. And to some people, it might be completely obvious. Like my partner's a freelance producer. He freestyles on calls all the time. Like that's what he does. And I'm like, how? It's so stressful. How, if you don't know, how can you do it? Whereas I bet he couldn't do, some of the things I'm doing. So it's just having the knowledge of other people going through the same thing as you and just picking it up. So valuable, so useful. Yeah.
Oh, I'm really pleased. So let's talk about how does your business look now? How has things changed with the business since you joined us?
I've raised my prices. Yay! Sweating every time and feeling nauseous, and feeling like, every time I give a proposal, I feel like I'm going to puke. And the thing is, it's not like with ghostwriting, because they're quite long contracts, I don't get to do proposals very frequently. So the pressure doesn't come off as quickly. Like I get to do a proposal maybe once every 6 months, maybe longer, for the bigger projects. So I only feel nauseous and sick about twice a year when I have to state those big numbers. But I don't think I would have been able to do that had I not gone through this process and broken down my services and deliverables in a way that makes me understand the impact that I give.
Yeah.
Like if I said I was ghostwriting, if I told people I was a ghostwriter and I ghost write books for people, I never really thought about what went into that. Mm-hmm. And I never thought about breaking down the steps, and I never thought about the impact it would have on the client and what the client's journey would be like. It was all about me and me getting the money and me finishing it. It was never about them. And so I couldn't see the impact that I could offer, because no one had showed me how to break it down or showed me how to look at it differently. I think most people start businesses out of a need to solve, something that's going on. So they don't think about these things. They just think about the end thing, get the money, do the job, move on to the next. So you don't really get to really pick apart and analyze your business in the way that you do in C2C, as well as your marketing and how much you put out there and your sales and how you come across. Like none of that you think about. So I think, it's still scary. Like I still am absolutely terrified when I talk numbers, but every time I do it, I feel a little bit more confident about it,
Yeah.
because I know that how much work goes into it and what the impact is. And a lot of the mindset stuff that you guys talk about, a lot of the data and proof of like why you're good, and how, you're always talking about, for marketing, what's the impact for them, how does it help them. It really helps you take the focus off yourself and onto other people, and that has really helped. What was the question? Have I changed?
Yeah. How has the business changed? How have
How's the
you?
business changed? It's a lot more organized now. I'm a
Yeah.
lot more organized. I have a process for doing my marketing. Because when I joined, it was very much about, I needed processes, I needed schedules, I needed organization. My background is very creative. I'm
Yeah.
not logical in any way. I know Chris loves a Notion dashboard and a
Oh, yeah.
spreadsheet and a bullet points, and
Yeah.
like,
Can't get enough of that.
that was what I needed. I was like, I need someone to show me how to do that. And that's what I needed. So he really helped kind of see my business as a business, and to organize it in a way that's going to help me deliver it in the best way. So processes, systems, tracking data, looking back at your data, looking back at, and just making it more manageable and making it feel like a lot less, like I don't feel like I'm winging it anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like I know what I have to do day to day. Like, don't get me wrong, I still freak out about, oh, I have to do this sales call with this really scary person, or I have to do, oh my God, I've got to do my LinkedIn marketing for another week. Why? And just like all
Yeah.
those things. But like, it never feels like I don't know what's expected of me. And that's the weird thing as well, because I work from home. I don't have any other colleagues. I have no one to bounce off. I don't really have an assistant or anything like that. So everything, it's me and me
Yeah.
and me. And it's just, you can get in your own head. You can really get in your own head. Oh, are you still there?
We started talking about how your business has changed. So let's talk about, this is a Chris question. Okay. So, you hit a significant financial milestone recently. I'd really love you to tell us about it.
What financial milestone? Oh, my bit. Did Vicky tell you?
No, Chris said that you've booked out. You're fully booked.
Oh, I booked out.
I mean, if there's more, feel free. Go.
So I booked. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm a ghostwriter, so a lot of my clients, if I get a premium client, ghostwriting client, I'll be booked out for like 9 months, which sounds really good, but it's literally only one client. So it's not that hard to be booked out. But at the same time, it is hard to find those people who are willing to pay for the service, because it's a big investment. So that was really cool. Yeah. So, and am I allowed to say this? I don't know. And it might sound really, I'm going to swear. I won't swear. It might sound really,
It's fine.
it might sound really wanky, but I like, the client that I got, who has, hang on, let me back up, because I'm fumbling. So I have a client right now who I'm finishing work with in June. And then I recently received an email from another potential client who wanted to hire me, which would book me out until basically the beginning of next year, which is great. And that's, money worries off the table. And the win there, I think, is not only the fact that I'm booked out until next year. With the new client, I was able to raise my rates again. And also because the client, I'm going to sound really up my own ass. Because the client is someone in the Hollywood sphere, I was able to, and when I got the email from them, I was like, this is fake, right? This is totally fake. You're not a Hollywood person. This is ridiculous. I was like, so going into a sales call with them was absolutely terrifying, because I thought, oh my God, this could be amazing if I get this person. But also, this is something I never would have been able to handle a couple of years ago. Like I just wouldn't have been able to like get on a Zoom call with this person and be like, hey, I know exactly what I'm doing. You
They're
make
cool.
millions like every day, and like I'm just me. So it was absolutely terrifying. But yeah, I got through the sales call. They wanted something different to what I normally offer. Again, I had to like in the sales call solve the problem in the call and be like, yes, I can totally do that. And then go and then finish and go, can I do that actually? And just figure it out on the call. And yeah, and it was amazing. And now, at least for the next 6 months, I'm booked out. I've raised my rates. I'm working with a very high profile, well connected person. I'm going to be able to finish that project knowing that, okay, after that, anything's possible. If I can get on a sales call with someone who works in that industry, I can do anything. I can do anything.
Oh,
This
so
is amazing.
funny. I want to ask you. I know you can't tell me, but I really want to know who it is.
I know it's this is it. Like, and this it's one of those. It's one of those people that if they emailed you and they told you, like, you'd be like, nah.
Yeah,
It's not.
I
And it's not like you'd have to Google them. But I when they said who they were and the kind of work that they did, I was just like, sure.
How exciting, though.
Sure. You just found my email and you just emailed me,
You must be doing something right.
I'm doing so yeah. So and that was it. And I think as well it was like a lot of the stuff in C2C, you teach people about kind of just leaning into your own unique thing. Like, there's loads of service providers out there offering the same things. If you've got that unique twist or that unique something that's special about you, use it to your advantage. Don't be afraid, whatever, of how weird it is or whatever it is. And that was one of the reasons that this client reached out to me, because when he did, I had to ask him. I was like, look, you are well connected. You have enough money to hire whoever you want, and hire people who've been doing this a lot longer than I have. Like, why, of all the people that you could possibly choose, would you want to work with me? And he said it was because of my unique background, that I had a background in film and theatre. I was a ghostwriter. There was a few other things that he said, and he was like, that's what I'm looking for. He was like, the people that I'm currently connected to, they don't have that blend, that mix that I want. And I had to go looking for that. And, he found my details, and reached out and just got on with it. So he knew what he was looking for. And I think clients know what they're looking for, mostly know what they're looking for when they're looking for someone. And it's just whether you fit that or not. And that was something I had to learn as well. I was like, I have to be everything to everyone, and I have to be amazing to everyone. And I've realized through and doing all the sales calls, which was one of the reasons I joined as well, was to learn how to get better at sales calls, was how to filter out, this would not be a good match. I would not be able to work with these people. It would be horrible. And find the good people and the people who would make it really exciting to work with. And, you get so excited. Like I'm messaging my current client now on Slack, probably more than I should be, but it's nice when you can kind of have a good relationship with your client and be like, I've done the right thing. I've filtered the people and I found the right ones. Yeah, it's great.
And in your line of work, you'll get to know them really well.
Oh my God, yeah.
Long-term relationship. I mean, you probably know their deepest, darkest secrets.
I know things, but I also forget things. Like, there'll be clients who will have told me stuff that was really heavy, and I'll be like, oh my God. And then 3 weeks later, I'll be like, there was that thing that you said. Thank God it's on the transcript, because my God, I'd forget. And because there's so much information, you get so much information. But yeah, you do feel really, really close to your client when you're ghostwriting. And then after it's finished, you're just like, oh, bye. Yeah. It's a bit sad.
It's part of your world. It's part of your world.
Yeah. And then you kind of feel like you're like breaking up at the end, or you're just kind of like, okay, I'm never going to speak. Bye. It's very weird. It's very weird. But yeah, it's I really enjoy it. It's really fun. It's great.
And I'm so pleased that you've flourished, really. It's kind of like, you've stepped into that personal brand power. That sounds really lame. I'm never going to
Personal
repeat that
brand
phrase.
power.
But that's the power of personal brand, isn't it? You stepped into your way of doing things. You're sharing your personality. It's got you these high profile clients, and it's helping you build those relationships with the ones that you have, maintaining those relationships, learn things about each other in a different format and different ways. And it's, yeah, I love this stuff. I absolutely love it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more question, and then just two more questions, I think, and then
Okay.
we'll wrap up for today, just because of time.
Sure.
But you mentioned that before you joined, you burned out previously, and you were very you were working all the hours under the sun, and it was a lot. How has life outside of business changed since? Because I'm hoping last Christmas you had off.
Wow. Yes. No, firstly, I actually like had a holiday. Like, I actually took time off.
Yeah.
And actually took it. Like, we've all done it where we're like, we put out in our calendar, yeah, I'm going to take 2 weeks off at Christmas. And then you never actually do it. This time I did it, and did it without feeling guilty, and did it without kind of questioning myself. You kind of, when you're working for yourself, like, you question everything that you do, because there's no one else doing what you do in the way that you do, and you can't, you can bounce off people up to a certain point, and I'm in a few ghostwriting communities where I can ask my questions and stuff, but like, no one's in the same situation as me, and so you really question yourself. So now I'm a much more like clear in my decisions, and I'm much more I'm less apologetic about how I use my time. I'm still not great at managing my time. Like, sometimes I will work weekends.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, right?
It's a work in progress. But like, sometimes I'll work weekends, but it feels different, because whereas before I was working weekends because I was like chasing my own tail and just panicking, whereas now if I'm working a weekend, I'm like I'm like, look, I know that this is what I have to do. I have certain deadlines that can't be met during the week, or I've had personal stuff that meant I couldn't work midweek, or like, you feel a lot more confident in your decisions about how you're going to manage your time. You feel a lot more confident about pushing back on things and saying, look, this is what I need to do, whether it's business or personal. You just feel, and I'm also much better. I find myself like imparting my wisdom to my friends as well. So I have a couple of friends who are in similar kind of businesses, not ghostwriters, but I have a friend who like runs her own business in London, and a few others. And every now and then I'll be like, this is what you need to do. This is what I learned.
Oh, I bet that feels
and
good.
I'm very much like, this is what needs to happen. And it's great, because you can kind of just share the snippets of stuff that you learn. I found myself saying stuff to my friends. I was like, you need to charge what you're worth, and you need to do this, and like how to speak. I had a friend who was really worried about meeting with someone who had been really intimidating and really problematic with her business. She was like, oh my God, how do I speak to this person? What do I do? And all of the stuff with the sales calls came back to me, and I was like, right, this is what you need to do to prepare. First of all, you need to do this, and then you need to do this, and then you need to prepare for the objections, and then you need to be able to like position yourself as, and all of this stuff. And it's a lot of the stuff that you learn in C2C can be applicable to personal life, to how you hold yourself in interpersonal relationships, or people that you work with, if they're particularly difficult or challenging or good as well. Not everyone has bad colleagues. Like, I think there's a lot of mindset work, and a lot of the processes that you teach, and I don't know how Chris's brain does it, but he kind of sees things as building blocks or something, and he just kind of picks apart the building blocks. And for a lot of people, I think all we see is the end wall, or we see the end house, and we think, oh my God, that's amazing. Whereas Chris is there like, well, it's only amazing because this brick does this, and this brick does that, and this brick does. And until someone breaks it down for you like that, you have no idea of the impact that you have, and what you can offer people, and what you are capable of, because no one's ever sat you down and gone, this is you, this is how you do it. And I think that's so valuable, to be able to have someone like that who just sees things so differently. And so
I get it completely.
I don't know.
That was one of my things. I was like, how do you do this?
I was like, how do you break that down into those It's mental. And I think that's it. It was like, it's great being a creative person, and it's great doing the creative stuff and the innovative stuff. That's why we're all business owners and entrepreneurs. We're like naturally like, oh, I can see a problem, I'm going to solve it.
Yeah.
But a lot of us aren't so great at the kind of, wait. We need to take this step by step, because that's where we get completely overwhelmed and befuddled and stuff. It's like, we're so good at the ideas, but connecting them and making them something that's easy for other people to understand is the challenge. So yeah, that's been something useful for me as well. It's been like, if I'm faced with a problem now in sales or with clients and I don't know how to solve it, I will have no fears about saying to the client, look, I don't have an answer for this right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and figure it out and I'll come back to you. I've never done that before. I never did that before. Before I'd be like, I'll just do it and
sweat and
I'll just sweat and figure it out. Whereas now I'm just like, do you know what? I'm gonna sort this for you, but you're gonna have to give me a couple of days, or you're gonna have to give me a week to sort it for you, and I'll come back. And it's such a nice feeling to be able to do that and not panic and flap and freak out.
No one wants that.
I mean, I still flap and freak out, but it's a lot less than I used to. Yeah, definitely.
Outwardly, you're calm.
And outwardly, everything is fine. Underneath, it's just like,
yeah, that doesn't matter. No one needs to know about that.
No one needs to know. They only see this bit anyway, so it's fine.
Absolutely. Okay, so one last question, and then we'll wrap up. So again, this is a Chris question. Pretend that someone that you really like, so a friend or colleague or something, was considering joining C2C. If you had to persuade them, what would you say?
Bloody do it. I mean, I can't swear on this, but for sake, do it, because you will. I know why people get worried about it, and I get it. And I think if they wanted, I would say, how do I phrase this? C2C is built in such a way that it will fill the gaps in your knowledge that you didn't know that you had. You will go into C2C assuming that it's going to deliver a certain thing to you, because of what you've put out there in the marketing. But there's a lot that isn't put out there in the marketing that you can't really put out into the marketing, because you have to experience it for yourself, like the Slack community, the group calls, going through the course, and just having those light bulb moments where you go through a module. Like, I've had so many of these where I've gone through a module and I've been like, oh my God, why did I not know that? Like, things you didn't know you had to know will appear to you if you join C2C, and you will be kicking yourself that you didn't join sooner. There's no point in wasting 6 months or a year umming and ahhing whether it's the right thing for you, because and then you're going to do it anyway. You might as well just do it a year earlier. And I know there's a lot of fear about spending money on something that you're not sure about, but I think sometimes if you're going to be a business owner, if you're going to be a freelancer, you have to be okay with taking risks, and you have to learn to trust yourself. And I think if you want to make moves, if you want to make a big move forward in your business, the first thing you can do is trust yourself and trust your gut. If your gut is telling you that you want to join C2C, that it's going to give you something that's missing, don't question yourself, trust yourself and do it. Like, it's not a lifetime commitment. You're not stuck there forever. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. I'm sure, they can speak to you, but like, there is nothing wrong in, you can't lose from joining something that is educating you on things that you lack education in. I don't see how that is a losing thing. Mm-hmm. This whole course is about teaching you sales, marketing, delivering to your client, packaging your business up in a way that's going to help people. You don't know all of that. There's a reason you're checking C2C. You lack knowledge or confidence or something in some area somewhere. I don't understand how that would be a bad thing to put down the money and invest in your education. When I was growing up, my dad did not spend a lot of money. He was very, very frugal. But when it came to education, he was like, nothing's off the table. If it's going to teach you something new, you're doing it.
Yeah.
no matter what. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like you're umming and ahhing about this because you're thinking about this and you want to do it and something's holding you back. I'd say if you want to be a business owner and you want clients to trust you, you have to trust yourself first. Otherwise, what's the point? No one's going to trust you with your client deliverables if you can't trust yourself to make your own business decisions. So I think the first decision should be this, obviously.
Oh my goodness, that's a mic drop moment right there. Try the damn thing. Corinna, who is a ghostwriter to the rich and famous in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm telling you to do it. So let's
Mad.
do it.
Mad. It's crazy, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so
for
much.
sharing your experience so openly as well. So
That's great.
yeah. If you're watching and you want to connect with Corinna, she is on LinkedIn, Corinna Cunningham. And yeah, if you're wanting to find out more information about C2C, you know where to find us because we are everywhere.
You are literally everywhere. You can't escape. It's the same.
Yeah, absolutely.